Yo, what's good? It's the Boydude Reviews with another weekly podcast. As we are in the new year, I decided that why not have multiple guests on my podcast? So in some weeks you may hear one guest and the other week you may hear another guest, just so that we have a variety of different opinions. That would be quite fun. So in this episode, me and Fahim talk about multiple topics, mainly Attack on Titan.
Alright, let's go.
Alright, so what animes have you been watching recently?
ReZero Season 3, I was looking forward to it for a long while.
Okay.
And unfortunately, they had a break earlier on.
Yeah.
But now, I believe they've continued. So I'm going to continue watching Season 3. That's like on my to-do list, right?
Okay.
On top of that, there's solo leveling. So that's something I'm watching through as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was more. Wait, give me a sec. I'm gonna just open this real quick. Just have a quick scroll. Oh, Apothercary Diaries. I love season 1, and hearing that there's a season 2, I'm actually curious to see how it goes.
Oh yeah.
Because season 1 was really good.
Oh, was it? Okay. It's got a nice art style.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's good. Like it's genuinely. I actually like how the character is written, the main character. Like she isn't made to just get the answers automatically, you know. And like there's it's just nice. You know, I think the plot's interesting. I like the music, right? Especially with the openings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like the anime, honestly. A while back, I've watched Classroom of the Elite just because I was late to it. I was curious to see what it was all about. I thought it was a bit interesting, I'll say that. But yeah, I'd say at the moment, really, it's just solo leveling, ReZero. I say just, but like honestly, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then obviously we also have Apothercary Diaries as well. There's a lot of stuff I need to catch up on.
Cool. Well, so you are currently watching Solo Leveling season 2 now, are you?
Yes.
Ah, nice.
Yes.
So we can just talk about that. So, pretty much, what did you think of season 1, like overall, like from how Jinwoo began?
So, all right. So I'll say this, right? See, I don't think I've watched. No, I have. Other than Tower of God, I don't think I've seen any anime that is adapted from manhwas.
Yeah.
So watching an anime that's adapted from manhwa, like it's very different, you know?
Oh yeah.
I think maybe it's just the art from an art style aspect, but
yeah,
like it does feel a bit different, at least to me. So I think season 1, I was kind of in a way adapting to that, I'd say, you know?
Oh yeah.
Because I thought, I'll be honest, I thought just the visual of the opening for season 1's anime, I kind of found it a little bit like, I don't know, it didn't really click.
It was underwhelming.
The season 2 opening though, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But season 2's opening was good. Like I actually kind of I like there is actually some nice stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like the choice of settings. I think, and even the music, of course. But but season 1, let's see. I mean, I think it's obviously like towards the end where it really piqued my interest.
Oh yeah.
Because you have like it's kind of standard, right? You have like isekai. I mean, this isn't isekai, but you have that standard formula, right?
Yeah.
So wherever it's like too close to that, like when it feels too formulaic, it's like, yeah, I get it. Okay, that thing's happening. Yeah. But seeing Jinwoo finally get to that point where he has to fight the the Ghost Knights. I mean, I know that's what they're called, but when he had to fight
and his team,
and and seeing that he actually like changed his class, basically his fighting style has changed. Seeing that all happen towards the end, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of interesting. And I think I was thinking like I was just thinking, okay, like from here on, like the way he would fight or the way he may kind of approach these problems might be different. And we do see that in season 2, mind you, because in season 2 he does rely on his army like a lot more. Of course he still has to fight, but there is definitely a change in class. Like there is a different approach that he uses to everything.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So season 1, I pretty much agree with you. I think the early episodes are a little bit, it's the early episodes, so they're not going to be as hype, you know. I will admit episode 2 for season 1 was good. When he quote unquote died and then came back to life, essentially, from the system. That was all
that was
intense.
Cool.
But I think it really peaked with episode 6 when he's fighting that one guy who betrayed him and sort of locked him in that dungeon with that spider, and then he ended up killing his entire team. That was when he truly awoken.
Yeah. Because I mean, he had to, cross a line after which he would never be the same, essentially. So yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I think from episode 6 onwards, it really like peaked, in my opinion, and it just kept getting better and better. But season 2, it's sort of on another level, in my opinion. So you're currently watching it, aren't you?
No, it is. So
what did you think of the episodes from?
I'm not up to date yet.
Oh, okay. So what episode have you seen?
I've only gotten to, I think I've seen all of the snowy area.
Okay, so you passed episode 2. Yeah.
I think that's episode 1. Yeah, past episode 2. I've seen episode 3, so I've seen him, after the health. He's basically reassessed his class.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of known for being an S class now, but it's not out in public. And now he's sort of working for not a mining company, but he's working a mining job for a guild.
Oh yeah.
So that's the sort of part that I'm on right now.
So episode 4.
But
okay.
yeah, I'm just like, okay, let's see. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just sort of like, okay, let's see what happens now. All right.
Okay, so are you watching the sub or the dub for this show?
I'm watching the sub. I don't think I've watched the dub even for season 1, to be honest.
Okay. I actually watched the dub for season 1, and I actually like the sub a bit more, to be honest, because I watched the dub, and then because the sub was airing first, I decided to switch to the sub, and yeah, I kind of like the sub more, in my opinion. I think Jinwoo's voice in the dub is a bit, teen edginess. He's a bit edgy in the dub.
Yeah, no, I get that. I feel like that's a kind of a common experience that people have with anime, like when it comes to sub or dub, right?
Oh yeah.
It's often when I think especially with shonen, that's just the impression I get, right? But when you just switch from sub to dub, you're going to just sort of feel like the voice actors are like kind of close to sounding like they're just playing a cartoon character in a way.
Yeah.
It can kind of feel like that, tying to that edginess thing you mentioned.
Oh yeah.
But I will say sometimes there are some genuinely good dubs.
Oh yeah.
And also I feel one thing I do also feel is when it comes to comedy, especially, I personally feel that dub sometimes just works better, and that's for myself.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of lighthearted ass type of anime. Even I'd say Classroom of the Elite, for me, for some reason, I just thought that was a bit better in dub. That's just how I felt back then. But I think there's definitely a lot of stuff where there's one more. There was this other anime I watched. It's one of those animes with like a crazy long name. So I'm gonna have a hard time. It was something like something mob. So basically, the guy was like reincarnated into this world. He's meant to be a side character, right? Like that kind of classic stuff. The way the voice actors spoke, right?
Yeah.
And seeing how the character is sort of acting like a villain, more or less, even though he is a good guy. Like he's not doing anything wrong, quote unquote. But his mannerisms and the way like it's dubbed out, I just found it to be hilarious.
Okay, well, I must admit that the solo leveling dub is actually pretty great, to be honest. Like, I think the edginess that I was talking about in Jinwoo, he does sound edgy in the dub, but I do think it kind of works with his personality in the second half of season 1. And I actually like the dub, but now that I'm listening to the Japanese, it is nicer to hear the original language, But like for other anime, I would say One Piece's dub isn't too bad. I know people are polarized when it comes to that anime, but I think that dub's pretty good for One Piece.
I think for One Piece, I haven't watched a lot of it, right? Because it's a long series. But I've watched a lot of episodes long before in dub. I personally enjoyed the dub. I think personally I like both. You know, they do feel a bit different, but like I like both, I would
Yeah.
say. But yeah.
So where are you at with One Piece in terms of like how far you at with the arcs?
Ooh, I paused a long time ago, man.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh yeah. I think maybe like 100. Like I remember they went to I don't remember the name. There was like this desert world
Oh, Alabasta.
where I think you have this book. Yeah, Alabasta.
Damn,
So I
that's
think
far
after
away.
they were done with
Yeah.
the arc,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that was when like the last place I was at, but I'm not sure. Like I might be a bit further, but
You're
yeah.
like
And
900
then,
episodes behind.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm thinking. I heard that they're doing a reboot, so I'm
Yeah,
like, okay,
there they are.
maybe I can just hop on without. But have they started it yet, or
So the Wit
not?
Studio
Not yet.
remake is still in production, but we're going to get some news information
Okay.
this year, I think. But the live action is
All
still
right.
ongoing. Have you seen that?
Hmm.
The remake for the live
Wait,
action.
sorry, live. Oh, okay, okay. I did not watch it. I just saw the trailer for the live action.
Okay. I think it's
So
pretty good,
I'm
actually.
completely in the dark.
Yeah, I think it's really good. It's a
Oh,
good
really?
adaptation, yeah. It actually fixes some of the issues
Okay.
when it comes to the pacing, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I
I
think.
mean, I understand like it's a long series, but are they able to like stay true to the source material in sense of like how the characters feel
Oh,
and
yeah, I do feel
let's
like
say the plot?
most of the characters still. They retain that spirit that the anime had.
Oh,
I do
okay.
feel like maybe the only character who's quite different is Zoro. He's a little bit too cool for school in the live action, you know? Whereas in the anime,
I see. I see.
he's a bit more jokey, if you know what I mean. But I
Mm,
think it works for this medium
mm.
because it's real people, so they have to be a little bit more grounded in reality.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah. But I think
wow.
it's a pretty good series, you know? I think it's really good. I recommend it.
Mm. Okay, okay. I
Yeah.
mean, I might give it a look then. But yeah, I mean, speaking of One Piece, I actually got this. I mean, it's anime related, but not, it's okay. So I got this book. It's Hobonichi Tech Weeks, I think,
Okay.
or Hobonichi Techno. So they do these. Yeah, it's Techno, Hobonichi Techno. So if you were to search it up, you would see that there are these journals or diary-esque books that are made by this company called Hobonichi, and they're very sort of just aesthetic. And they actually have not a lot of collabs, right? But they
Okay.
have one for One Piece.
Oh
So
yeah.
you get to like just have a journal like it literally my one has like a picture of Luffy on it, and it's just themed around One Piece essentially.
Okay.
That's the best way I can put it.
Oh
So
nice.
it's something I got. I wanted it for like more than a year, so I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Oh
But
nice. Okay.
yeah.
Ah, that sounds really nice.
Um,
Okay.
mhm.
Awesome. Awesome.
And let's see. Other matters with anime.
Oh, have you seen
I'm thinking.
Attack on Titan? I think that's a big
Mhm.
one that recently came to an end. Did you see like all the other seasons before?
I did. I did not. I've seen the earlier seasons, but then
Oh yeah.
at a certain point, I got impatient and just read through the whole manga.
Oh, you read the entire
And I
manga.
read all
Oh,
of it.
okay.
Yes.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, and then I was like, wow. I'd say, like, at least from the manga, what I
Yeah.
remember is that the show just changes a lot.
Oh yeah.
It just takes so many twists and turns. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
what? But yeah, it's quite a journey for sure.
It is a huge journey. I recommend watching the anime if you
Hmm.
get the chance to. It's a pretty good adaptation from where you left
I
off,
see.
at the very least.
Oh, with the anime,
Yeah.
I think the last. Okay, actually, I do remember this. So you know the part where I think maybe it's Historia's dad.
Oh, Rod Rice. Yeah.
And I think yes, and I think he takes the serum and becomes this like the strange Titan
Yeah.
that's not complete. Yeah, I remember that when I saw that in the manga, I was like, "Whoa, that's really cool. Whoa.
Yeah.
But then when I saw the anime adaptation, I actually was unhappy with how it looked.
Oh,
I just
okay.
thought the CGI wasn't that cool. And I think that's where I was like, yeah, I kind of don't want to watch more of the anime.
Okay, fair enough.
Around then.
Okay. So it was
Yeah.
around season 3, part 1, episode 9.
Mhm.
It's where you dropped off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think around then, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't like how the CGI was. I mean, I
Yeah.
loved the CGI before, like it was really cool. But just seeing, because like in the manga, it's
Yeah.
really cool as a concept. You have a Titan that's basically incomplete,
Yeah.
and it makes kind of makes a lot of sense. But
Oh,
then
yeah.
you see it here, and it's like,
Yeah, it's like a
yeah,
gigantic CGI monster just crawling on the ground.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. But yeah, um,
I still recommend watching it. It was still pretty. The rest of it's really good. What other animes are
I mean, I
there?
might have a look.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling.
Because
Scrolling.
you do realize that the final 2 episodes are going to be released in the cinemas later on this month. That's like a special
I did not know that.
4K release event.
I mean, I remember like back when I watched Attack on Titan, the anime long back. I thought the moment when Zeke was revealed, I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, that was a really spooky
yeah.
moment.
Yeah, yeah. Because like it not only, I think if I remember correctly, it not only like when Zeke was revealed, right? Like when you see that sort of zoom out and then you see the the ape Titan.
Yeah.
And you see Zeke basically right there. Well, I think it also sort of reveals that there's a whole other city in that area. If I'm remembering this right.
Yeah.
So like that's when you reveal like, oh, okay, there is that other city, and you're seeing it, and you're seeing Zeke's there, all of that, and then I think he says something that reveals their brothers. I think.
Oh, okay.
Back then.
Yeah, that was.
I might be misremembering.
Yeah, I think you're about right.
Yeah.
I mean, for me with Attack on Titan, I think back in 2014 I watched season 1, and then I had to wait so many years for season 2, so I gave up and just read the manga. So I never actually saw the other seasons properly until 2020, and then I sort of got back into the anime then, It just took so long to come out that I was just so impatient. So I just read the manga. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all completed now.
There were
yeah.
Moments. Yeah, but there were some really cool moments in Attack on Titan. Like also, like I remember actually. Okay, this I actually remember, right? So when Reiner reveals that like Eren, you can betray them, join us. I'm actually the armored titan. He's a colossal titan. I actually paused. Like I was watching it, and then I paused, and the thing is, you hear the audio, right? But it's like quieter. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's like because it's in the background. So when I heard that, I was like, wait, is that like a glitch or something? Like that was my instinct reaction. I was like, wait, I just imagined that. Like that's no. And then I hear it, and I see the text, and I'm like, wait, what? And then I'm like, okay, they're crazy, of course. Like it's such a good plot twist because it's not only like it's good enough that I would just not believe that it's real. Like I'm like, nah, okay, he's like lost his mind because like his brother is saying, oh, Reiner, have you lost your mind? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But then it actually happens and a fight starts. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it all just comes out of nowhere. It's such a subversion of expectations. I think it might be the biggest plot twist in Attack on Titan. I think the other two are probably involving Eren in the final arcs, when he does his memories and all that.
Yeah.
But I think this Reiner reveal was without a doubt the best plot twist. It was just so shocking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would have expected that. So
No.
it's really nice.
What about when Eren revealed that he manipulated his dad to kill the Rice family in the manga? If you remember that.
I mean, I do. But I to be honest, I didn't feel as emotionally involved,
Okay.
or like it didn't feel that surprising of a thing. Not that like obviously it is a plot twist, right?
Yeah.
But it felt like, to me, the way it felt was more like a sort of, how do I put it? Like, yes, okay, narratively that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
It is, but it also felt more of like I don't want to say metaphor, but more like an artistic thing, you know?
Yeah.
So to me, it felt that seeing Eren basically say, kill them, all of that, it felt in a way like Eren is just looking back. It's just like making everything full circle. Because the whole idea was Eren hates Titans, right? At the
Yeah.
start, he hated Titans. Like 100%. Why did he hate Titans? Because they killed people and they killed his mom. Blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But then the reveal is that, oh, but these Titans, they're actually people. So really, maybe you can't really blame them or whatever.
Yeah.
And you might expect the reaction or whatever, the response to be like, oh, I'm conflicted. Oh, no. But the way it comes full circle is, he sort of doubles down. He's like, well, I don't care.
Yeah.
I hate Titans.
Yeah.
Even if they are people, they are Titans.
Yeah.
And sort of seeing that happen. So seeing him, in a way, interact with his past self and seeing his anger, in a sense, be what kickstarts everything, it feels poetic. And it feels like more like a sort of merged-esque memory or something like that. I don't know how to use my words here. It's just, yeah, it is a literal thing, but it feels like it's meant to be taken more than just a literal thing.
Yeah.
But really, Eren's perspective, it's like he's in a dream-esque state, Like, it's kind of like a dream, but it is real.
Yeah, it's real.
That's how I sort of look at it. Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Awesome. Let's move on to the next topic. Let me just type that up. Have you seen My Hero Season 7 yet?
I believe I have.
Okay.
Let me just Hero Academia. Okay, I'm just gonna assess if the answer is the same means I have. Did it end with basically they're in that flying space shuttle thing, not a space shuttle, but like platform area, and they're in the sky.
Yep.
And I think we don't know what happened to Bakugo.
Yep.
And yeah, like it basically, yeah. I've seen that season.
Okay.
I thought it was nice. I like seeing how things have sort of escalated. Seeing that All Might is still fighting despite him losing his powers is also interesting. I kind of feel like this might be where All Might dies, but we don't know for sure, right? I think they're trying to make it, that is meant to be like, oh, does he die? Does he not? But yeah, I am actually interested in seeing how things will play out. I remember previously I heard like there was this theory a lot of people mentioned where it's like, oh, Midoriya secretly has like a hidden quirk. It's just that he lost it because, I didn't read the manga, so I don't know. And I don't want to spoil it for myself. But I've heard people saying this theory quite a lot. They're like, yeah, Midoriya has a secret quirk, but it was taken from him, and maybe with enough help or whatever, he'd be able to regain it. At first I thought, come on, that's crazy. I mean, that's cool, but like that's crazy. But now the way the plot is played out, the way everything is built up, it kind of feels more and more feasible. It's like, actually, that might actually happen. He might actually get a secret. He already has all of these other quirks that he's using. At that point, it's kind of like, yeah, what's one more?
Do you know how it comes to an end?
Curious.
Have you seen the ending of the manga?
No.
Okay.
No. I've not spoiled it for myself.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I don't know how. Like, I don't know what happens.
So even though I'm an anime only,
I was tempted.
I have been spoiled on the ending for My Hero, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, so I know how it ends. Yeah, I won't say anything, but just try and avoid spoilers online because they're always everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair, man. Any ideas when the next season would be out? I'm
It's
still
this
waiting
year,
for it,
actually.
man.
The final season is this year
Oh, okay.
in October.
Okay, final. So we're oh, okay. I'll be done with uni by then. So once I'm done,
Hmm.
I'll be able to have a look. That's nice.
Nice, 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 nice. Awesome. On
Okay.
to the next one. Have you seen the anime Dandadan?
Not the anime. I've read the manga, but
Okay,
not too far as well,
not too far.
because I
Okay.
stopped at a certain.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, but I read the manga, so
Okay.
um, I thought it was nice. I mean, I like the concept, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the start, it doesn't feel to me, it didn't feel that crazy. Okay, girl believes that spirits are real. Guy believes aliens are real. Oh, are they gonna hate each other or are they not gonna hate each other? What's gonna happen? Whoa. I was like, okay, I mean I get it, but like but then seeing how things sort of build up, seeing like I love the illustrations
Oh
for
yeah.
the I think the yokai. Not the aliens as much, but I did like the illustrations for the yokai.
Oh nice. Okay.
And yeah, I thought it was pretty cool with that, and seeing just sort of how things can sort of build up, and
Oh
the
yeah.
idea that he's basically using the yokai's powers, because of a curse, but seeing that it is literally a curse. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Cool. Okay. Well, I haven't really seen the anime past season one because there's only been one season, so looking forward to the future of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Moving on from that, let's move on to the movie stuff. Have you seen the Superman
All
trailer?
right. Oh, I don't know. I might have, but we're talking about the new Superman, right? Because they're
Yeah.
doing a reboot.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, like I've heard good things about it, right? But I
Hmm.
will be really honest.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually more of a fan of the Zack Snyder Superman, not the Joss Whedon cut,
Yeah.
it in particular, but just the Zack Snyder era of Superman. I think it was a bit more. I thought it was more interesting. I
Oh,
like
okay.
Man of Steel. I thought BVS, not the cinema version, but there's this Ultimate Edition,
Oh
and
yeah.
more so like the Snyder cut. I thought that was all really cool.
Mm.
And seeing how Superman is sort of treated to be more, I don't know the right word to use here, but it just felt a lot more interesting, honestly.
Yeah. It's more realistic.
I've
Yeah.
seen yeah, I've seen some of the older Superman, I guess, movies, right?
Oh yeah.
I've seen, and I completely understand, a lot of people, they love the older versions of Superman, and I
Yeah.
respect that. Like, that's fair.
Yeah.
But if I'll be really honest, I personally don't really think it's that entertaining or cool. Like
Mm.
that's just me.
They are
Compared
quite
to the
dated.
Snyder Cut Superman.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, the original one did come out in 1978, so it is a little bit dated, old fashioned compared to
Yeah,
how
yeah.
modern the Snyder one is.
Definitely.
I feel like this new one
Yeah,
that's coming out
because
is more like the old one,
mhm.
to be fair.
Yeah, and that's part of why I'm kind of like, I'm
Yeah.
not that, because it feels like they're trying to, make Clark Kent just a simple man that's, just simple.
Hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with seeming like a simple character, right? But I don't believe I, because let's say with Man of Steel, right?
Right.
It's sort of the lifestyle you try to live.
Hmm.
You could interpret that as being, kind of, quote unquote simple, but there's obviously all this emotional depth, with his personal life. And I think that was something we actually get to feel or resonate with. Also, of course, his backstory, like how he came from space, all of that. Like there was this emotional weight, which I thought was really engaging, and it's sort of told not just on a narrative basis, but there's a visual element for how that story is told, for how the tone is conveyed. So yeah, I feel like this approach they're gonna take with Superman, it's just gonna be like, yeah, he wears a suit, which he secretly wears, and then Superman, whoa. So I'm not that hyped, I'll be honest.
That's fair enough. That's fair
I
enough.
am curious. But on the matter of like stepping away from that to, let's say, Sony, I'll
Yeah.
say I'm waiting for that the part 2 for the spouse for the Spider-Man movie, the multiverse one.
Oh, Across the Spiderverse. Yeah.
Yes.
With Miles Morales.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked how like they had a plot twist in the
Yeah.
first, like previously. Like I like the plot twist a lot. And I want to know what happens next. So definitely,
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for part 2 there.
Yeah, they seem to be delaying it. It was meant to come out in 2023, 2024, but you know, I think they have some issues behind the scenes with the animation and all that. So still waiting for that. You know, I love those two movies. To be honest, they're probably one of the better Spider-Man movies, in my opinion.
That's fair, man.
Yeah,
it's like the animation's genuinely good.
Yeah,
That's without a doubt.
yeah, it's lovely.
I wouldn't blame the animation team for taking longer, considering how the animation is.
Yeah,
But still, I'm like,
yeah, it's taking too long.
yeah.
But yeah, I think also this year we're getting Fantastic Four,
I
which
feel-
is another big Marvel franchise film coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're hyped for that or not.
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I've seen the trailer. I believe I have seen the trailer, but not really the hype for it either, to be honest.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Not really. Yeah. But I did like the older Fantastic movies. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to. I'm not sure which thing. Like, I didn't think Johnny was cool, but I thought Johnny was funny, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, like the contrast. That's just how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think with Deadpool, seeing him basically show up there, like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
with the Deadpool and Wolverine movie,
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
think, oh, that's Captain America. No, it's Johnny. And then seeing him basically get a death, which is hinted to be something he kind of deserved, because he, at the end in the post-credit scene, said, oh, you can quote me on that. I don't care if she kills me, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, but yeah.
Yeah, that movie has some really comedic moments. I don't know if I like that movie over the other Deadpool films. Where did you rank that movie out of the 3 Deadpool films?
I mean, to be fair, rating is a bit of a difficult thing, right?
Yeah.
I'd say, like, okay, so firstly, I'd say this. When it comes to Deadpool, I think what I look at with Deadpool would be more, like, I lean more towards its comedy than necessarily the serious elements of the story. Obviously, there is a serious element to the story, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say with Deadpool's relationship and all of that. But I tend to just be more like, okay, you know, like, this is pretty funny. Oh, okay, that. I thought the third movie was really good, and I think why was because I, you know, caught up with all the, you know, the X-Men series, like all the X-Men movies.
Mm-hmm.
At least the ones that were kind of somewhat relevant to Deadpool.
Okay.
So I caught up with that, and you know, seeing all the characters come together, it's like having a mini, in a way, like a mini, what do you call, Infinity War, or maybe you can say a mini What If. You're seeing all those, you know, other characters sort of show up, and on top of all of that, you have just, you know, like they deal with the problem for like, oh, okay, what about, you know, Wolverine who died? How are you going to make him relevant? Oh, we'll just like double down on that. So like seeing all those small things, I genuinely found it funny, honestly.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah.
I'd say I like the third one. I definitely like the third one. I wouldn't know how to rate it, but if I had to, I might just say I'll put the third one first, then maybe the first one, and then maybe the second one. That's kind of how I personally would lean.
Oh, nice. That's a fair rating. Awesome.
Yeah.
On to the next topic. What was the next topic?
All right.
What would you say your most favorite films of 2024 were from last year? Like your top 5?
Ooh.
or your top 10?
Top 5.
Top 5 or top 10?
Okay. Top 10 is a bit too difficult, right? Because
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't think I've watched enough movies
Oh, fair
last
enough.
year. Yeah, I mean, Deadpool Wolverine was from 2024, right?
Yeah.
And that's definitely going to be on the list. Yeah, I think we got a bit of a problem here because I haven't watched a lot of let me just search movies from 2024. See if I
Yeah.
can. 2024. I've heard about the new Captain America movie, but to be honest, I wasn't that interested in it.
Oh, I literally just saw that yesterday.
Oh, how did you find it?
I actually liked it. I really did. You know, I thought it was really entertaining. It was action packed. I liked how it took a break from, because usually MCU movies are very jokey and comedic, but this one was a little bit more serious. It felt more like it felt like a slightly toned down version of Winter Soldier, in my opinion. It still had the seriousness of it, but it wasn't on the level of those early Captain America movies, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's still a good film, though.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. But I heard from a friend of mine who watched the movie as well. He said that a lot of the movie focuses more on the president than Captain America itself, which is a bit ironic.
Yeah. I think it feels more like an Incredible Hulk 2 than a Captain America movie.
Yeah.
Because you're bringing all these Incredible Hulk characters back into this movie. So it kind of feels more like a sequel to the 2008 version of the Hulk.
Yeah. But I feel like, that just kind of, because it's like, if you imagine you're watching Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3, back then, and you're like, I'm excited, let's go. And you even see posters that are showing, Iron Man, promoting him as like, oh, okay, it's an Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
But then you're just seeing, like, I don't know, Peter Parker because he's doing an internship there, But it's focused on Peter Parker. It's just you're seeing Iron Man here and there, It kind of feels like the audience might be a bit betrayed. I mean, what do you feel about that? Do you think that's something a lot of people might feel, or do you not so much?
I feel like
the movie kind of comes on.
I think so. I think, especially with the Red Hulk, he's everywhere in the marketing. But when you actually watch the movie, he's in the last 15 minutes of it, so he's barely in it. So I think people will be disappointed in that fact, and also, I don't know. I just liked it. I liked the film for what it was. I think for what it is, it's good. But I can see why people don't like it, because it's not as, I don't know, it doesn't have the same flair as the older movies. I think maybe that comes to the dialogue, maybe that comes to some of the visuals not being that great from people that I've heard from. Also, I think people just preferred Steve Rogers as Captain America. And I think people just see Captain America in this one as Sam Wilson, the Falcon. They don't see Captain America being Captain America. Even I kind of agree with that, to be honest. I like Sam as a character, but I still see him as the Falcon, It's just the Falcon with Steve's shield.
I feel like, it's not that it's theoretically not possible to make Falcon genuinely step up to being Captain America, but it just feels like they haven't really done anything to let that actually happen, and they're putting a lot of expectations on the audience to just, oh yeah, he's Captain America now, whoa. Even like if this is Captain America, like if this is meant to be a Captain America movie, then I feel he should have been given more of a chance to stand out and kind of work his way into this role,
Yeah.
Obviously I haven't seen it, so I don't know about the plot, but just hearing the fact that he is given, like, just the fact, like, as you mentioned, like, if he was more like an Incredible Hulk movie than a Captain America movie, like, I feel already that kind of shows a bit of some red flags, pun somewhat intended here, but it does, when instead they should be kind of letting this be a good moment for him to shine as the new Captain America. And if they didn't do that, then it's not, like, people are going to only continue being like, yeah, that's not Captain America, that's just Falcon. And Yeah.
I think Bruce Banner should have been in this movie, in my opinion. Just because there's just way too many ties to the Incredible Hulk and Betty and the Abomination, and I don't want to spoil too much, but there's just a lot of. If you're a fan of that movie, you're gonna love this film for what they reference. For the Easter eggs, essentially. Yeah. But yeah, I think this should have been more of a Hulk film. It just felt like two different films clashing together, essentially.
Yeah.
But I'd say give it a. I don't know. I say this because if you're someone who likes movies that connect and have an impact at the end, so movies that feel like they are changing the MCU, then you may be disappointed because this film has no effect on the MCU. It's literally, it feels like a side adventure, essentially, this entire movie. It's so self-contained. But I thought it was fine, but it doesn't change anything. It references big things that happened, especially in the Eternals. The big celestial hand at the end of the Eternals.
Yeah.
That's in it. Yeah. So they do reference that, but nothing really changes. The end credits does tease the future of like the Avengers movies, with Doomsday and Secret Wars by this one character's line. Essentially teasing the multiverse, but I mean, we already know the multiverse exists, so it's not a big surprise,
Yeah.
We've seen it in Doctor Strange, we've seen it in Ant-Man, we've seen it in Spider-Man, so yeah. I'd give it a 7 out of 10 in my opinion.
That's fair.
Yeah. But that's Captain America. Oh yeah, what would you say your top 5 movies were? I think we were on that topic.
Ooh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna like refer to movies that I believe were released
Okay.
Back in 2024 and that I just sort of have watched.
Okay.
Even if it might not have been 2024. So I've seen Madam Web and Craven the Hunter.
Okay.
I thought both of those movies were not good, but, and again, keep in mind, I haven't watched enough movies back in from 2024.
Okay, fair enough.
I did find them funny because of how bad they were.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like Morbius, more or less. I thought Craven the Hunter was funny because it felt too, I don't know, cliche perhaps. Like the idea was, okay, Craven's dad is just very, very strict, and he has a very sort of certain sort of view towards the world.
Yeah.
And all of that, he's like, oh, Craven, Sergey, you must do this. Sergey, your mom died because she was weak.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying his name. He keeps saying Sergey the exact same way. There's no tone inflection. There's no change. If you told me that there was just one line recording and that was used over and over again just for that, I would believe that, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found both Craven the Hunter and Madam Web to be really funny. Obviously, Deadpool and Wolverine, I did unironically like that. And also from 2024, I saw this. Oh yeah, I saw Fall Guy back then. I actually did like Fall Guy. The premise is it's nothing too crazy. It's basically about a stunt, not a stunt person, but a stunt body double, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, that is basically a stuntman. Yeah, okay, never mind. Basically the stuntman for a movie or a series of movies who would just be there to take a fall, for any action related scene. But it focuses more on the sort of relationship between him and someone. It's into like his interpersonal life, how he feels. There is genuinely like an arc, right? It's by Ryan Gosling. Like Ryan Gosling acts in it. I thought it was a really fun movie, so I like that. Following all of that, if I just quickly scroll through, I'd say, I can't believe I forgot this one. I think this was from 2024. Okay, so there is this one other movie, the new Ghibli movie. It's this Ghibli movie that was released.
The Boy and the Heron.
The Boy and the Heron, I believe.
It.
Yes, that was like right at the start of 2024. I actually did like that. It's interesting, right? Seeing a new Ghibli movie come out, because I think when I think of Ghibli movies, I think of something that it's like, oh, it's an older thing,
Oh
But
yeah.
seeing an actual Ghibli movie that's new, like it was cool.
Oh yeah.
Um, mm,
Yeah.
it feels magical. It does actually feel quite
I like.
magical. I'm
I
very.
thought the film was nice. I saw it as well.
Mhm,
Yeah, it was pretty. It's
mhm,
not the
mhm,
best Ghibli film, but it's pretty good for what it
mhm,
is. You know, it's just nice seeing more
mhm.
Miyazaki movies in the cinemas.
Yeah. But it got my curiosity up because there is something very, very different about, the storytelling of Ghibli movies than just other movies.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
if you look at most movies, let's say made by Hollywood or most movies from 2024, it feels like they're trying to just, optimize things, right? Whether it's the visuals or the music or whatever, to just make sure people would feel some spike of dopamine almost
Yeah.
constantly. It's like action, oh, sound. Oh, okay, like we'll put a joke here so people are engaged. Oh,
Yeah.
we'll make a reference here so people are engaged, But this, it feels like it doesn't care about engagement. It
Oh
just
yeah.
cares about the story. So it's like, okay, here's a story. Whoa. And they do things just that so they would feel vivid. Like, I mean, everything has a purpose here.
Yeah. Ghibli
Um,
films feel more
yeah,
softer and slower than like the Hollywood
mm-hmm,
movies.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, I think that's why they're always beloved
definitely.
by fans around the world. Because Hollywood just is,
Mm-hmm,
as you said, it's instant gratifications of like high action, drama,
mm-hmm,
loud music,
mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
nudity for some of it,
Yeah,
all to,
yeah, a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
to get people's attentions. But with Ghibli, they don't
Mm-hmm.
do any of that. It's just story, people, characters, and in the environment essentially.
Mm-hmm. But I feel that kind of it lets people sort of rediscover stories for what they were meant to be.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel a lot of people when they first watched a movie or when they were young and they saw movies or shows or cartoons or whatever, they actually genuinely were hyped.
Hmm.
I'm not saying people don't care about movies now. I'm sure they do, but now it doesn't like it just like okay here's what I mean, right? Like I wasn't there during the Star Wars craze,
Oh
right? And
yeah.
I'm calling it craze in quotation marks because I know it is actually something really cool and historically it's something great, right?
Yeah.
But back then back then, from what I would imagine, when there's going to be a new Star Wars movie,
Hmm.
people would be hyped. You can see people queuing. People are excited. Everyone's like, let's go. All the kids will be talking about it. And then they go, they see the movie, and they actually like it. There are genuinely like some sort of vivid reactions going on,
Oh yeah.
you know? And we have that for Star Wars. You can have that for, let's say, Harry Potter movies, right, from back then.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure you'd have that for a lot of different things, right? I
Hmm.
think for me, I used to watch a lot of cartoons as a kid back then, and like seeing like, oh wow, it's Winnie the Pooh, wow, wow, let's go. There's this hype, and
Yeah.
I feel that now the way we are, like the place we are with like, let's say, a lot of Hollywood movies, a
Hmm.
lot of blockbuster movies,
Yeah.
it just feels like, like it just feels like, okay, we need to make something that's quote unquote relevant. Like
Yeah.
that's their focus. Just make something relevant, package it up, make it fast. You know, it's just, it doesn't feel like it has a lot of artistic value. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it would stand out as something just nice in that way.
Yeah. I think
But yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why you know these movies do so well at the box office, because I feel like original movies
Mhm.
get made every year, but most people would just
Mhm.
choose the sequels and the remakes and the prequels over
Yeah.
the original movies.
Mhm.
I think because they prefer something that's more
Mhm. Like,
familiar to them and
yeah.
something that's guaranteed going to make them hype, essentially. Whereas an original movie, people don't know the film, so it's that fear of the unknown. You don't know what you're going to get from an original movie,
Mm.
like The Fall Guy. Because The Fall Guy was
Yeah.
an original movie, but it flopped at the box office.
Mm.
No one watched it, so
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, my impression, like before, like I only watched Fall Guy because a friend of mine invited me to
Hmm.
watch it. He was like, "Hey, I want to watch this movie. Ryan Gosling's there. Let's go." I actually wasn't too hyped about it at first, right? Do you know about the game called Fall Guys?
Fall Guys game. No, I've not seen
Yep.
this one. No.
If you okay, so it's just like one of those. I won't say. I mean, kind of generic, but it's just one of those silly games that a lot of people like to play, or some people like to play.
Okay.
Like it's a casual party game, basically.
Oh,
Really.
fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, just because the name is similar or close enough, and because the impression, like all the info that was there is, oh yeah, you have a stunt double and he's doing a movie, like oh, relationship with, it doesn't feel like it'll be something crazy. It's like, okay, whatever, like it's not that cool. But then I was like, okay, it's just a hangout. Let me just see it. But the movie was great. I feel like a lot of good movies, even with promotions or whatever, um, it might not. Because at the end of the day, a movie is a story. Whether it's animation, it's a story. Everything is a story.
Yeah.
And some stories may not, even if you market them out, they might not stand out as much because it's just like, oh, it's just a story. Like, oh, it's just a story about a bookkeeper. Oh, it's just a story about a barista or something. You'd be
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I mean, I'm not that interested in like, oh, it's nothing crazy.
Yep.
But when you actually engage with the story, a good story would let you feel the person's feelings, experience the sounds, the colors, everything. You see it from that character's perspective. And because of that perspective and because of how well in sync it is with whatever music choices are made or whatever stylistic choices are made, it would feel like a very vivid experience. You'd be so engaged that you would leave the theater being like, wow, that was
Yeah.
amazing. So like that's a sort of dilemma I feel with a lot of these,
Yeah.
well, a lot of movies or good movies can have, or good stories can have.
Mm-hmm.
It's a market. It's hard to market things like that.
Yeah.
It goes back to what you said.
I mean,
People kind of just gravitate to what they're familiar with.
yeah, I mean, look at the top 10 highest grossing movies of 2024. They are all sequels or popular IPs. So you have Planet of the Apes 4, Bad Boys, Venom 3, Beetlejuice 2, Kung Fu Panda 4, Godzilla vs. Kong, Dune Part 2, Despicable Me 4, Deadpool and Wolverine, Inside Out 2. All like top movies, like all sequels, all remakes, like you don't see an original movie in sight. Wicked is the only one that is part of this top 10, but
not quite.
It's kind of it's kind of a prequel, but it's not really a prequel. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, but Wicked technically, because here's the thing, right? Wicked is, if I'm remembering this right, while Wicked might, like as a movie, might be an original movie,
Yeah.
it is based off a play, which
Yeah.
is why a lot of people, in a way, kind of already know about Wicked or
Yeah.
have some reference to what Wicked is. Now, I think plays might be a bit, I mean, my impression is plays would be a bit more niche than, say, movies. But because there's already a point of reference to what this is, it probably kind of helped build up traction. So people who didn't see the play were like, oh, a lot of people are talking about what is this? And it was marketed in this way that might appeal to our, let's say, a more mass market. So I think that's the thing I'd interpret about Wicked, So in a way, it is from a franchise.
Yeah.
It is kind of from that. Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking at this top 10 again. Yeah, Wicked is at number 5 on the highest grossing movies of 2024, and yeah, like it's people can see it as more of a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, and that's like a super beloved movie, that people loved. And even in the movie in Wicked, they do reference that film. Have you seen it? Because in the first 5 minutes,
I have not.
It's not really a spoiler, but they do show like the last 5 minutes of The Wizard of Oz. Like you see the characters walking back home essentially, but it's for a brief few seconds. But already it's sort of telling the audience this is a prequel to The Wizard of Oz. Yeah. Oh yeah, Moana 2 is also on there as well, and that's a sequel. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's just kind of ironic that people complain online saying that there's no original movies made in Hollywood anymore, yet they would rather watch sequels and support them, whereas original films like The Wild Robot just don't make as much
Oh, I
money
wanted to
as,
watch that. I actually did want to watch that.
you know, Moana. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the Wild Robot stood out as something really unique.
That was a very
But
original
I never
movie.
got around to it.
Yeah, I recommend
Yeah.
it. It's awesome. It's like
It's true.
Wall-E meets Brother Bear, essentially, or something like that. One of those old school Disney forest movies, essentially. Yeah, it's a nice vibe. Nice vibe. I think it's still out in cinemas